So in the legendary fights that Sengoku was one time talking about, saying that, oh yes, in that legendary fight on God Valley 39 years ago, you had on one side Rock the Chebek and on the other side Garp and Goldie Roger that made an alliance to defeat Rocks and all of that. Well, this is the video to talk about all that fight because we just had the climax of all of that fight in the backflash of One Piece with King Harold and all of that. And so that's what we're going to be talking about throughout this video. So don't forget to like this video, guys, because I still see a bunch of you don't liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So let's go for it, people. And so in the whole God Valley incident, we all understand that it started with the Celestial Dragons that came over there to have their secret championship hunt, whatever, where all of the 20 families are competing to get points, and maybe after that to win, and after that to win have some prizes, for example devil fruit powers or money or even Shaki, a woman. And so from that perspective, they had to basically hunt people like Kuma, which were considered a super rare rabbit, and in total they basically had 100,000 people that they were going to hunt in God Valley. But thank God, a lot of strong foes showed up on God Valley. For example, Rocks and all of his crew, meaning Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, Gil Bastard, basically all of them the greatest pirates of their era. And at the same time, on the other hand, you also had Goldie Roger and his pirates, Rayleigh, Gaban, and all the rest, And on the other hand, as soon as Garp understood that, oh yes, Goldie Roger is going towards God Valley, Garp is like, hold on, let's go to God Valley too. Even though he was not supposed to, he still went for it, and I'm telling you, thank God he was on God Valley too. And so they showed up, they started to, they started destroying basically stuff left and right, they started fighting some God's Knights and all of that, and at the same time, at the end, boom, Im-sama shows up, reincarnated basically in Saint Saturn, crazy form, basically a spider, and on top of the spider you had Im that was looking like a wall on top of the spider. Basically one of the weirdest shit ever, but some of the craziest fights that we've ever seen in the One Piece story, because right there, boom, fight in between Saint Saturn and Im. And on the other side, you've had Rocks, you've had Garp, you've had Goldie Roger, you've had Big Mom, you've had Whitebeard and Kaido, all at the same time using some of their strongest attacks, all at the same time attacking Im. But that literally felt like it did not do nothing to Im, because Im from there, it's like Im's silhouette disappeared and then poof, reappeared again out of darkness, so like nothing happened. And from there, Im started to like speak to Rocks, whatever, because Rocks was the one who was trying to like provoke Im, whatever. And Im was like, yeah, your wife and son are still here as well. From there, Rocks did not like how Im was talking back to Rocks, So Rocks was like, you know what? Shut up. He took his sword, whoosh, tried to slash Im, but at the same time, Im did not get no damage, no nothing, but Im actually impaled Rocks with its darkness. And from that point on, Domi Reversi, I am telling you, is an attack or is a broken power to me, because that literally will allow almost anybody to transform into a devil, and now you are under the direct order of Im-sama, And is there any proper way to actually not turn into a devil yourself? I don't even understand that Domi Reversi, because now with Rocks that was able to become a devil too, now I don't understand what makes the power of the Domi Reversi. So maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments below if you guys have any theory about the Domi Reversi. I need to research it maybe a little bit more and all of that. But now, since the Domi Reversi and since Rocks literally became a devil himself, and he basically is losing his consciousness, and also he is literally crying out of frustration because of the state where he's in, And basically, as soon as he turned into a devil, boom, he sees Big Mom and Kaido. He goes towards Kaido, takes Kaido, boom, smashes him towards the mountain. Then comes back, looks at Big Mom, boom, swings at Big Mom too. Big Mom is flying away. Then he looks at Whitebeard, boom, he goes against Whitebeard. He's trying to face Whitebeard. And from their clash, Whitebeard and Rocks, basically one of the towers of God Valley literally fell to the ground. Right after that, because of course Whitebeard was also pushed away to the side, he actually at that point in time was trying to go for his wife and son, because that's what him ordered Rocks to do, like go and take care of them and all of that. And he was basically to the point where he was going to basically kill his wife and son, Blackbeard aka Teach. But thank God for Kuma, because Kuma is the MVP of God Valley. He was able to save one last person, and those one last person was Eris, the wife of Rocks. And thank God. And thank God, probably she survived with Teach, But from that perspective, to Rocks, it definitely looked like he, finished his wife and Teach, So from that perspective, he's basically just crying at the failure that he became and whatever, and all of the frustration and all of the despair that he's got in that form of a devil with the wings and being like bigger than everybody and all of that. Like literally, he cannot take it, and he's literally inside of him just crying for help in a way. And that's where basically out of all of that frustration and all of that, that's when Garp and Roger are like, you know what, it feels like we really need to take care of this situation. And they scream at Rocks like, come and get us, And so Rocks is like, you know what, I'm gonna go and get them. And so him also ordered Rocks to go and end basically everybody that's living on God Valley right now. And by Goldie, Roger, and Garp screaming, now they've got his attention, and Rocks is coming towards them. And now the biggest clash of One Piece, the biggest legendary clash. Rocks on one side and Goldie, Roger, and Garp on one side. Now that we're learning the truth about what really truly happened in that fight, meaning that he turned into a devil and he was literally crying out of frustration and he wanted it to end. And on the other side, they had to kind of help him figure out that whole exorcism that they had to like basically do on Rocks, basically throughout their fight. They were using Conqueror's Haki on top of Conqueror's Haki. Even the skies were opening up and everything. But whatever Garp and Goldie Roger were doing towards Rocks, it feels like there was no effect. To the point where they understood that by using Armament Haki, Conqueror's Haki, and all of that to coat their weapons or legs, whatever, and all of that, it literally ends up in a draw, because it feels like the powers are the same. So confronting two opposing powers that are the same power, it ends up into nothing basically, and no damage basically. A little bit more damage for Goldie Roger because he doesn't have no regeneration powers, but Rocks does, So that's why throughout their fight, Goldie Roger and Garp literally had to use their full 120% of their power against Rocks to at least finally have the advantage against him, And that was the legendary fight of God Valley, where after we discovered the truth is actually a little bit more dramatic than the actual headlines of the fight. Oh, you had Rocks that was trying to get the Celestial Dragons, and then Garp and Roger actually decided to have an alliance to save the Celestial Dragons. It was not the case. It was for something totally different. And that's why I call that incident one of the biggest incident of the world of One Piece. And you guys let me know down in the comments below if you guys think the same. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to your boy's channel for more interesting videos. On that note, see you in the next one. Peace.